Hey, so this is like a little vlog. I thought it would be fun. This is actually my first ever old book that I have bought. I'm very into the hobby of collecting old books. And I was just taking another peek at it, and I thought I should read a section of it that I thought was funny. This is a blind read, by the way. I haven't read this yet. But I thought, since I'm going into childcare as a career, I spotted this. It's a section on infants, and it was written in like the 1700s. So this will be an interesting read, I'm sure. All right. Man is a being compounded. Oh, hold on. So this is Buffons' Natural History. The book was written in around the late 1700s. This is a revised version with like the copy of 2. I don't know the date that it is from. I'm guessing late 1800s. But most of this writing is from the original 1700s book, so I can read it. Alright, hold on. Man is a being compounded of 2 distinct natures, body and soul. The soul exists independently of the senses, but receives all its information by their means. The leper whose skin is dried up has no sense of external feeling, but a man deaf from infancy has no idea of sounds. But to give a more perfect idea of the nature of man, it will be proper to pursue him through different stages of his existence. At his birth, the infant is exposed to a new element, the air. What the sensations are on the admission of this element to the lungs is impossible to guess, but from the cries of the infant, we may conjecture that it is attended with pain. I don't know about that. The eyes of an infant are indeed open, but they are dull and appear to be unfitted for the performance of any office whatever, and the outward coat of them is wrinkled. The same reasoning will apply to most of the other senses. It is not till after 40 days that it begins to smile, nor is it till then that it begins to weep. Its former sensations of pain are unaccompanied with tears. The size of an infant born at the full time is 21 inches, though some do not exceed 14, and it generally weighs 12 and sometimes 14 pounds. The form of the body and members of a newborn infant are by no means perfect. At the end of 3 days there usually appears a kind of jaundice, and at that time there is generally milk in the breast of the infant, which is squeezed out with the fingers. The skull of infants is not completely formed. In language of the nursery, the head is open in a particular part. That is, the skull bones have not grown far enough to meet. That's true. In the opening, a palpitation may sometimes be discovered. The beating of the arteries may always be felt. Above the opening, a species of scurf appears, which is rubbed off with a brush. What? Formerly, infants as soon as born, were injudiciously and unnaturally laced with bandages, so that they were not able to move a single joint. Nations which we call barbarous, act more rationally and more humanely in this respect. The Siamese, I don't think that's a nation anymore. The Indians, Native Americans, the Japanese, and the black people, it uses the N-word in here. The black people, Jesus Christ, I'm not reading that, that's a slur, lay their infants naked in hanging beds of cotton, or in cradles lined with fur. Infants sleep much, but their sleep is often interrupted. They ought to have breast every 2 hours. They ought to have the breast every 2 hours in the day. I'm sorry, but that's just worded funnily. They ought to have the breast. Every 2 hours in the day, and in the night as often as they awake. It is of great importance to keep children clean and dry from their excrements. The American Indians, Native Americans, who cannot change their furs as frequently as we can our cloths, put under them the dust of rotten wood and renew it as often as it becomes damp. Great evils ensue from the negligence of nurses. What? Infants are frequently left to cry for a considerable time, which often occasions disease, or at least throws them into a state of lassitude, which deranges their constitutions. I don't know what any of that meant. To palliate this, palliate? I don't know. To palliate this, they are sometimes put into a cradle and rocked to sleep, which may occasionally derange the stomach and head. Before children are put into the cradle, we ought to be certain that they want nothing, and when they are rocked, it ought never to be with such violence to stun or stupefy them. The eyes of children are always directed towards the light, and if only one eye be directed to it, the other will probably become weak, but both eyes ought, therefore, to be equally shaded or equally exposed. Squinting is commonly the effect of injudicious treatment in this respect. For the first 2 or 3 months, the diet of the infant ought to be chiefly confined to its mother's milk. The 8 incisors, or 4 teeth, appear first. They are produced generally by pairs, from 2 months old to 10 or 12. The 4 canine, or dog teeth, appear commonly in the 9th or 10th month. About the close of the first, or in the course of the second year, 16 other teeth appear, called molars, or grinders. In the 5th, 6th, and 7th year, the 4 teeth, the dog teeth, and the first 6 of the grinders naturally shed. Oh, that is a disgusting word, but it's right, because you lose your baby teeth. But shedding your teeth is just, it sounds disgusting. At the age of puberty or later, the dentis suprema, or wise teeth, oh, the wisdom teeth, yeah, appear. Women are said to have fewer teeth than men. Interesting. The hair of most infants is exceedingly light. Wait, what? Did I skip a page? Oh, light, almost white. When a child suffered to cry violently and too long, it is in danger of rupture. But the early application of bandages or trusses will frequently remove the complaint. The frame of infants is said, perhaps erroneously, to be less sensible of cold during any other season of life. The pulse is certainly strong, and it is therefore fair to conclude the internal heat is considerable. Till the age of 3 years, the life of infants is extremely precarious. And then there's a little footnote here. It is rendered still more so by injudicious treatment, vegetable diet, and frequent purges. What? Vegetable diet and frequent purges murder immunable poor infants. As the animal frame is a state of debility and period of life, strengthening animal food is certainly most proper, and as the intestines are generally inclined to a state of relaxation, frequent purges are certain to be destructive. And then there's another footnote coming up. In the course of the ensuing 2nd and 3rd years, it becomes more certain at 6 or 7 a child has a greater probability of living than at any other period of life. It is remarked that a certain number of children born at the same time, above a fourth, die in the first year, above a third in 2 years, and at least 1/2 in 3 years. By other calculations, it appears that 1/2 of the children born at the same time are not extinct in less than 7 or 8 years. And then here's the other footnote. Since the period where Buffon wrote, the probability of life in infancy has much increased in consequence to the introduction of vaccination and the more rational manner in which children are managed. See, that makes sense because this was written in like the late 1700s, and then I'm guessing this was annotized after vaccination came out. I don't remember when that was. But yeah, so after that, and then I think this is almost the end of the chapter. At 12 or 15 months, infants begin to lisp. A is the vowel which they pronounce with the most ease. Of the consonants, B, M, P, T are most easy. In every language, therefore, baba, mama, papa are the first words that children learn. Some children pronounce distinctly in 2 years, though in generality do not speak for 2 years and a half, frequently not so easy. Some young persons cease growing at 14 or 15, while others continue their growth to 22 or 23. I stopped growing at like 15. In men, the body attains the perfect proper proportions at the age of 30, and in women sooner. The proportions, indeed, of women are generally complete at 20. The distance between the eyes, I'm 20. I'm complete, I guess. The distance between the eyes is less than any other animal, and in some creatures, in fact, the eyes are so great a distance it is impossible they should ever view the same object with both eyes at once. Men and apes are the only animals that have eyelashes on their lower eyelid. I didn't know that. Other animals have them on their upper, but want them on the lower lid. The upper lid rises and falls. The lower has scarcely any motion. Then there's a little drawing of a brown squirrel right here. I don't think the chapter keeps going. It does, but I don't know if I feel like reading all of it. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. But, there's another drawing right here. It's called Tiger Hunt. Not gonna lie, some of the drawings are very racist, but I mean, that just shows the time it was made. So I would say that's pretty interesting. Some of that stuff, I'm not gonna lie, I did not understand at all. Yeah. So, that was interesting. I'd say some of it's pretty accurate for childcare. Definitely our life expectancy has gone up, like, even since the annotations were made in, like, the late 1800s, I think. So yeah, our life expectancy has shot up. I'd say some of that was accurate, but a lot of that is a little weird, kind of like old science is, but I don't know. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I didn't stutter too much. I don't usually read out loud that often, but enjoy.